right. How is it going, everyone? We are live. Hope you guys are doing well. I'll wait a little bit for people to get in here. Well, I guess. Hey, Jared Rooks, how's it going? So one thing I can do is do what I want to do with these Wednesday Q&As at the very beginning, and that's just talk a little bit about the business side of things and how things are going at Nintendo Prime, maybe even a little dab into my life. And before I do that, I want to remind everyone, if you do have questions for me in this Q&A, be sure to ping me in the chat at Nintendo Prime. It makes your chat stand out to me. Same is true over on Twitch, except I think it's at Nintendo Prime TV on Twitch to do it over there, whereas it's Nintendo Space Prime or Nintendo Prime, all one word, on YouTube. Anyway, so get your questions in. I'll answer anything, whether it's about Nintendo, whether it's about my life, whether it's about whatever. It doesn't really matter. I will answer things as well as I can. That being said, let's get to some business side stuff here at Nintendo Prime. For starters, I have obviously been trying to take advantage of the studio I have. You guys saw my Prime News episode yesterday. That was fully recorded in this studio with one of my new setups, and I think it turned out quite well. There's still some issues with shadows and lighting, and that's just something that I'm probably just going to be dealing with for quite some time until I can get the lighting in here that I wanted. There's nothing much I can really do about that, to be fair. So it's just something that I'm just, with the current equipment I have, I'm doing the best I can. I still think it looks really good. What I will note is that for the first time in a while, there were 0 autofocusing issues that I noticed anyways while editing the video, and I was editing it in 4K and I didn't notice. So I think I might have fixed the autofocusing issues. We'll see. I still have to do another video over in the setup back there, the gaming setup, the gaming collection setup, so I can actually see if I've fixed the autofocusing issues for that area. And over here specifically, I'm going to be trying to get rid of the bokeh effect. I know a way to do it on my camera. Don't know how well it's going to work out with the autofocus, but we'll try. It should actually make the autofocus a little easier. I can't do it with the this setup over here because whenever I crank the settings to get rid of the bokeh effect, it has an issue with my LED light that I shine on the wall. So there's nothing I can really do about that. And there's just a lot of things going on. I don't want to get too personal to my life right now. There's an issue in the family currently that I'm not willing to talk about. Not with my immediate family, like my fiance and my children. We're all fine. We're all healthy. Everything's good there. But this does have to do with family members very close to us. There's something going on that I can't talk about. And because of that, not only do I ask you to respect my privacy and the questions you ask, I also ask that, or at least want you to know if I seem a little overly aggressive, more than usual. I know I can be a little aggressive in my comments at times, or in denial of my own mistakes and stuff at times. If I seem overly so this week, and I don't know, for the foreseeable future, because I don't know when this is going to get any better. Maybe when I can deal with it better myself. I don't know. I apologize. I just want to openly apologize right now. I know subconsciously I am actively looking for an outlet for my emotions on this, and I can't make that outlet my fiance. She's going to break down. I can't make that outlet my kids, and those are the people I'm around all the time. Yeah, it's nice to say video games, but video games don't let me dump all my emotions out. Whereas the internet's a very nice, convenient place to do that. And the problem is, on the internet, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a social media person, so when I dump emotions out, or when I get overly aggressive, or when I say something in defense mode of myself, or whatever the case may be, or if I'm overly critical of something from Nintendo or any other company, maybe to a fault. Some of that is just because it's my mind converting my emotions into different emotions to get it off my chest. So again, I want to openly apologize about all of that, and just know that I'm aware. I'm subconsciously aware. I'm fully aware. Whether or not I can prevent it or lessen it, I don't know. I just don't know. Especially when I listen to things back as I'm editing and I'm like, yeah, that still sounds really good. And then I listen to it again after it's live and I'm like, I don't know about that. And I know some people have told me, well, just take a break. It's not that simple to just take a break. I wish it was. Reality is that YouTube's also a job for me. It's not just a passion. It's not just an awesome hobby. It's a job. The biggest paycheck I get every month comes from YouTube. And so just like taking time off isn't really an option. There's still bills to pay. There's still mouths to feed in my house. I can't just not work. What I have to do is get better at compartmentalizing. There we go. My life and then my work, and not letting what's happening in my life feed into my work, and impact my work. And I think I did a really good job of that with yesterday's Prime News. Yesterday's Prime News is the first video I have made this week, really like the past 4 or 5 days, that I'm truly proud of. I like the editing in it. I like what I said in it. I like the news reporting. I feel like I delivered a high-quality video yesterday. And it made me realize I kind of want to do more Prime News videos. I know I was only dedicated to doing like 3 a week at one point, and I'm still not on a regular schedule for them. But I think I kind of want to get on a regular schedule for Prime News videos. I don't know if that regular schedule means in the morning, in the afternoon, in the middle of the day, at night. I don't know. But I really enjoyed making that video. So I do want to do more like that because it's high quality. It also lessens the amount of time in there where I'm giving an opinion. Yes, clearly I still say a thing or two, but in 13 minutes I delivered 5 pieces of news. If you know me, I did 13 minutes today on just the Sony news. So that's what's cool about Prime News is I have this mentality when I make it that it's not about my opinion on something, it's about the news. So I report the news, then I give a little tinge of opinion to start a conversation, then I move on to the next topic. Versus for Sony, I might, beat things into the ground for 8 minutes on that video. 5, maybe 10 of the 13 minutes I was beating things into the ground. And while I enjoy those individual news videos, and I know, like as an example, RGT85, he's starting to do individual news. He just announced that he's not doing RGT news anymore, or at least for now, because people seem to be enjoying his individual news as the news is happening. And I think there's some value to videos like that, and I will continue to have some videos like that. But I think for me personally, I create a better product when I do the news summary kind of videos like in Prime News than when I do individual news videos. And I think if there's a particular piece of news that I want to have an extended conversation about, that's something I could take over to a discussion format and do it in that setup over there and try to have a broader discussion about this after I've seen some people react to some of the news. And finding a way to do that's going to be difficult, but because it's just a mentality thing. But I think I can do it. I think I've proven to myself over the past couple years that I have this capability to create these amazing standalone news segments and then these awesome discussion videos, and that I need to find a way to separate the two a little bit. And I feel like when I do the thing like the Sony news today, glad I got that news out, but at the same time, even if it would have been delayed till later today for Prime News, it still would have been, I think, more fulfilling in a Prime News episode. And if I wanted to talk more about crossplay, I could have made an entire discussion video on crossplay. So, yeah, I think that's what I want to start leaning towards in the future when it comes to content at the channel. I want to do, for news, I want to do more of those, those gathering of news, those Prime News episodes. I want to do more of those, every, 5 days a week for sure, Monday through Friday. Weekends are always kind of iffy because not a lot of news lands on weekends usually. So Monday through Friday. And then after that, any news topic or any topic in particular I want to do an extended conversation on, make a discussion video out of it. And that does mean I'm going to be late on the news sometimes. And that's the pitfall. But who cares? I care about the quality of the content, right? That's what I should care about most. And I think people in general will like my content more if I focus on that kind of thing versus focusing on timing. I still want to get my Prime news out the same day the news happens, of course. While I appreciate something like what Spawnwave does, where he gets the news out the next morning, like all of the prior day's news comes out the following morning for Spawnwave. I like getting all the news out the same day, so that's what I'm going to continue to focus on. That being said, let me get to some of your questions. I don't really have any other updates. I just wanted to give you guys my mentality and what I'm feeling out here at the channel as we expand into the studio and I get into a format where I'm more readily able to record videos all the time. All right, so let me get to what some of you guys are talking about. So Jared Rooks, let me check Twitch quick. Okay, nothing on Twitch right now. All right, so Jared Rooks says, "How's it going?" Obviously, I'm doing as good as I can, I guess. Jared Rooks also said, "While this is a Nintendo channel, thoughts on crossplay from Sony finally." I mean, finally. I made a whole video on it, so I kind of give my thoughts in there. Basically, this is good. It's all good news. I'm glad Sony's doing it. I think a lot of this happened from pressure from the community, pressure from media, pressure from everywhere over the past year where Sony's like, at some point, we need to be good guy Sony and give people crossplay. I don't like the way that they're presenting the crossplay, treating it as we had to work out something, like there was something difficult about the idea of crossplay, and that now we finally can, and we have to beta crossplay. Like, crossplay has nothing to do with Sony. The only thing that has to do with Sony is them saying it's okay to do it. It's on the developers of the games. The developers of the games are the ones that handle the crossplay, not Sony. So it's weird how Sony presented it as if it was such a tough thing for them when all they had to do was say it was okay. But I digress. It's a good thing. It's starting with Fortnite. I'm sure it's going to spread to every other game that uses crossplay. And while it doesn't seem like they have a blanket policy like Xbox and Nintendo does, where, hey, you want to do crossplay? Sure, any game can do it. It feel like, by the time PlayStation 5 lands, especially, that pretty much if you want to do crossplay on a Sony platform, you'll just be able to do it, even if you have to expressly ask permission every time. I don't see a situation where Sony would deny that permission moving forward, because that would just backlash on them. Like, why is it okay for this game and not them? Blah, blah, blah. Like, they're not going to want to deal with that situation. So starting with Fortnite, probably in Minecraft next, or something like that, Rocket League, etc. All the games that currently have crossplay, they'll probably start adding crossplay to those. I would say, maybe even by the end of the year. Let's see here. Yeah, just try crossplay with people on PlayStation 4. It works really good. I mean, it should work really good. There's no reason it shouldn't. It's got nothing to do with Sony. Epic already does crossplay on all the other systems. It's on them, and of course it works. It's dumb, to be honest, that it took this long. Jonas Erickson said, "I started to follow you on Twitter today." Nice. And it says, "I like how you seem to be the grown-up in the OJ versus Dreamcast guy thing." Yeah. The tough thing is I get stuck between like this rock and a hard place, right? Because you guys probably know, and if you don't, that OJ and I are, I guess what you would call internet friends. Not that I wouldn't hang out with him in real life if he was in my area or I was in his area, but one of those things where we have a respect for each other, and while we both can be crass, we both can be rude, we both can be a lot of things, we have that base understanding of each other's mentality and our passion, and a respect, a deep-seated respect. And the thing is, I also kind of know Dreamcast guy. I don't know him as well as I know OJ, but ironically enough, I actually knew him before I knew OJ. I've done podcasts with Dreamcast guy in the past. I've talked to Dreamcast guy in the past, one-on-one. It's been a long time, but I've talked to him one-on-one. And Dreamcast guy in general likes and respects what I do, and I like and respect what he does. And I think what happens when you're like this person in the middle, because I got dragged into it because Dreamcast guy blocked OJ on Twitter, and I got dragged into it because OJ was saying, "Why am I blocked?" But yeah, Nintendo Prime was saying stuff. I think ultimately, I think there can be a different approach at times to how people handle things in social media. While I can be a bit crass and a bit rude at times, I try not to be that way towards people that I have respect for. So as an example, if I think Player Essence is completely wrong on something or lying about something, I'm probably not going to be overly aggressive towards Player Essence to tell him that. Whereas if he thinks you're lying, or he knows you're lying, or he knows you're spreading misinformation, he's likely to be extremely aggressive about that fact. He's not, he maybe won't call you names, but he will come at you pretty hard about that fact, and it makes you feel like crap. I mean, I'm being honest. It makes you feel like crap. So while he's not intending that to be the case, that's just who Player Essence is. And when you don't understand that, or you can't get along with that personality type, it rubs you the wrong way. And I get it. He's rubbed me the wrong way at times too, and it just took me some time to kind of get used to the way Player Essence is. So while I'm not blaming Player Essence, while I'm not blaming Dreamcast Guy, it's one of those things where I think their personality types aren't something that meshes very well. From what I gave my opinions on Player Essence. I guess to be fair, I should talk about Dreamcast Guy a bit. I really like Dreamcast Guy. I think Dreamcast Guy is more of a laid back kind of person compared to someone like Player Essence, who puts on a show. He fully admits he puts on a show, and is more energetic, I guess is the way to put it. Where I always view Dreamcast Guy is that friend you invite over, and you can just sit down and have a lighthearted conversation about video games for 5 hours, right? Whereas Player Essence is that guy that you come over, and that lighthearted conversation turns into an aggressive back and forth, which turns into a let's settle it and smash kind of thing. So it's a very different personality type while both being into games. And I think at times that laid-back type has a hard time getting along with that other type of gamer. So, yeah, Dreamcast Guy gets some things wrong, just like I get things wrong. We get our facts twisted. There's information we don't know. Like, believe it or not, we're human, and we don't know everything. And even when we do our research, we can't always find everything we need to do. And people can call into question your journalistic integrity for not knowing all the information. But honestly, I mean, I don't know that I consider myself a journalist. I don't know that Dreamcast Guy or Spawnwave or any of us consider ourselves to be journalists. We're just people that are creating content because we love doing it. That's the bottom line. You could talk all about, because you make money. That had nothing to do with any of this at the beginning at all. Yeah, we make money now, which is enabling us to make more content, but it's not really the driving force behind making content, if that makes sense, right? So I think Dreamcast Guy's great. I really love his content, even if I disagree with his opinions on things all the time. But I found that the best way to disagree with him isn't to aggressively tweet at him or stuff like that. It's more so to make it that casual conversation where hey, I get where you're coming from. I just kind of think this, and I think a little differently than you, and that's more of a way to have a conversation with someone like him. And I think both are great YouTubers, and I hate that I got drug into that crap on Twitter, but it happens, and I'm happy to support both of them for different reasons. And yeah, that's really all I have to really say on that. But I'm glad that you think that I'm being a grown-up in this situation. I don't know what that exactly means, because people can point out a zillion ways that I have been immature, in the course of doing this YouTube stuff and growing and trying to learn. But when I'm dealing with people I consider to be friends, I have a broader understanding of different aspects of those people and trying to figure out why this happened. I don't know. I haven't read all the tweets, but I can kind of understand why Dreamcast Guy feels that way and why OJ, Max from Dreamcast and OJ from Player Essence, why they feel the ways they do. I kind of get it, and it sucks because it's not something I can fix. Usually I like to mend friendships, but I can't do that. I can't make these people like each other. So it's life. Let's see here. You're proud of me? Thanks. Do you have any advice for people starting a video game channel? Says Paradox. Paradoxer 77. Do I have any advice for people? I mean, got to be passionate. You can't do YouTube. It doesn't matter if it's a video game channel. It doesn't matter if it's a makeup channel. It doesn't matter if you're a channel teaching people how to do hula hooping or something. whatever it happens to be. Maybe you're a vlogger. It doesn't really matter. You got to be passionate about it. Don't go in to making a channel to be popular. Don't go into making a YouTube channel to get attention. Don't go into making a YouTube channel because you want to tap into that money. None of those are good reasons to be a YouTuber. You need to go into making videos. I mean, even when you look at some of the people that clearly are doing that now, like when you want to bring up Jake Paul or Logan Paul or something where clearly it's for the money, sure. Now, that's not the way it started, though. And that's what you have to remember, is it didn't start that way. They were going to be in college, and they were 2, 3, 4 sport athletes, and all, like they were making videos on the side. It was just this fun thing they did on the side. And that's the kind of the way I say for everyone is you need to just have a passion for creating video content, more so than caring how many people view it, getting popular, having people know you, having people respect your opinions. None of that should matter. It should matter, I enjoy making content. And if it happens to be that your enjoyment of making content leads to you getting a following and making money and all this other stuff, that's great. But that should never be the reason. So, advice for starting a video game channel, it's find something you're passionate about and make sure you enjoy doing it. And sometimes it's going to take you many, many failures along the way before you figure it out. As an example, I've been doing those individual news videos, voiceover gameplay, all that stuff for 1.5 2 years. And, it took until recently to realize I actually enjoy making the Prime News episodes more than I enjoy doing that. I mean, it takes a while, and you got to constantly be evolving and realizing what you like and what you don't like about what you're doing. That doesn't mean you shouldn't make content that caters to your audience, but your audience should be built off of the kind of videos you wanted to make in the first place, meaning that what you're doing already caters to the audience because that's why they follow you. So there's a lot of ins and outs, but you don't need a lot of fancy equipment. If you don't even have a microphone, you can record audio with your cell phone mic. You can record video with that as well if you want to be that way. You could be a Let's Player. I don't have a lot of advice for Let's Players because I've never been one, but if that's what you want to be, cool. It's just don't make videos for any other reason other than you really have a passion for making video content, because it's a lot of work even as a hobby. And you want to make sure it's something you love doing before you just dive right in. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself overwhelmed and wishing you never did in the first place. Tariq says, the TW difference, I like news summary and when they're a weekly thing. MSW Animations, do you want Dying Light on Switch? It was on PlayStation 3, so it's possible. I would like to support Polish game developers. Yeah, why not? Why not? Here's the thing. Whenever someone asks, would you like X game on Switch? It's like, yeah, I want every game on Switch. So I can already tell you, anyone who ever wants to ask, do you want this on Switch? Yes. The answer is always yes. Yes, I want that game on Switch. Like, why wouldn't, who, like, even when people say, oh, I don't want that game, like, oh, I don't want Call of Duty and Dude Bros on my Switch, it's like, who cares? Like, if it's there, just don't buy it. It's pretty simple. But I don't know. I'm of that mind. Whether or not I like a game or not, or will play it or not, bring it to Switch, baby. Make Switch the ultimate gamer platform. Have everything. That would be awesome. Why is your outro a remix from Pumpkin Hill from Sonic Adventures 2? Ben Van Boven. Is it a remix from Pumpkin Hill? See, I got that song off of, for those who don't know, I get most of my custom audio you hear comes from Epidemic Sound. It's one of the perks I get with my partnership with BBTV is I get access to all of their music library, and it's a song from their music library. But does it really sound like Pumpkin Hill, the outro music? Let me, I haven't heard that in a while. Pumpkin Hill from Sonic Adventure 2. All right, let me listen to this quick.
You know me, the fighting freak Knuckles, and we're at Pumpkin Hill. You ready? I ain't gonna let it get to me. I'm just gonna.
Nah, they got different beats. They got different beats. I think this is just a confusion of where you're confusing the beat of one song for another because they might be in the same time, like 4/4 time, 3/4 time, 6/8 time, whatever. They're using the same timing. but it's not the same beat. They're not the same beat. So, nope, not based on that. At least as far as I didn't create it, but they're definitely not the same beat. I understand the similarities. It's kind of like when you listen to, a specific genre of music, and it just feels like all the music is the same. But then when you listen to it, sometimes you're right, and the music literally is the same. But other times you listen, and it's like, nah, it's just the same style of music. It's not necessarily the same song. All right. Did you know that Minecraft players on PlayStation still get updates? Yep, they just don't get the Better Together update. I'm aware. They still update on PlayStation. Let's see here. Caden Caden does gaming. What's your home address, credit card information, and list of family members with addresses? Yeah, why don't I give you all their social security numbers too while I'm at it, huh? Let's see here. Do you think Fortnite finally having crossplay will allow Minecraft to have crossplay? It's not will Fortnite allow Minecraft. It's will Sony allow Minecraft. The only trepidation I have with Minecraft and why Sony might not add crossplay to Minecraft or allow crossplay to exist with Minecraft is because it's an Xbox game. It's a Microsoft game. They're a competitor. So I could see if any game didn't get crossplay on it, it would be that. But what do you know? Man, I have a ton of Twitter notifications. People are really going off. People are really going off. This OJ versus Dreamcast guy thing is just wow. Anyways, I hate when I get roped into stuff like that. To be fair, Dreamcast guy didn't rope me in, just so you guys know. So, in fact, I tweeted at Dreamcast guy not about the drama. I didn't want to. He's trying to wash his hands of it all. But I was trying to get him on a podcast episode. And he never responded, which is fine. I should probably just message him off of Twitter, because just tweeting at him's probably not going to get the response I would like, because he's getting so many other people tweeting about it that I probably should just DM him. Anyways, scroll down here. What's wrong with OJ? I already talked about that. Let me see here. Ariel Lazaro 6. Except you don't even have to be lying or wrong for OJ to be rude. He'll attack and mock people just because they don't agree with him. I'm purely opinion based. I mean, the thing is I'm not gonna sit here and like go on a big OJ defense force thing. I think OJ can defense force himself. I don't need to do that for him. But he's just a very, at least online, don't know him in real life, but at least online, very aggressive in how he does things. And I can be that way too at times. I try to be consciously aware of it. I'm trying to be consciously aware of it right now. But he can be really aggressive. And, when you talk about attacking and mocking, some of it might be him putting on a show, him trying to have some fun. I don't know. I just think that unless you truly understand the personality type, a lot of what he's saying, like he said some of this stuff to me, where you can argue he's attacked and mocked me, but I can tell. I just have like this thing where I know him well enough now that I can tell that he's not trying to mock me. He's not trying to make me feel like crap. He's not trying to insult me. It might come across as like that, but it doesn't mean that's the intent behind it. And I think intent matters a lot. And I think on the internet, it's so hard to ever know intent. And until you get to know OJ better, you don't really understand this. And thus, he can come off really, really bad to some people. And I'll just leave it at that. I have no issue. I think the way he approaches things is partially why I'm entertained by him. So I think it's actually a positive for him as a YouTuber. But it's obviously not, it's going to rub some people the wrong way, and they're not going to be able to deal with it, and that's just the way it's going to be. And I think he knows that too. I don't think he's that. I don't think he lacks the self-awareness to know that his approach to things isn't going to be for everyone. That's why when people tell me they don't like OJ, it's like, it's cool. You don't have to like OJ. You don't have to like me either. It's all right. No one has to like anyone. Let's see here. I thought OJ was on Spawncast just this past Saturday. As far as I'm aware, OJ's not off of Spawncast unless Sean said something. You gotta remember, I don't know all the people on Spawn. Like, I don't know RGT85 or Spawnwave. Never had a conversation with either one of those people. So, anyways, man, I knew someone mentioning OJ was gonna make a bunch of the people who really don't like him coming out. You know, I see people calling him, you know, a Nintendo zealot. Calling him a defense force. Like, I get it, guys. I get it. As you guys know, I generally do not insult other YouTubers. It doesn't matter what I feel. Doesn't matter what I think. I don't insult other YouTubers. And the thing is, I do actually respect OJ. So I've got nothing to really, you know, say on the if you guys are looking for me to say a bunch of negative things about OJ, it's not gonna happen. Let's see here. All the stuff with OJ and Dreamcast guys on Twitter. OJ's got it all public if you want to go look at his side of things. Dreamcast guy said a couple things and then he's just kind of left it alone. Because that's the way Dreamcast guy is. He says it, has his piece, blocked him, and moved on with his day. All right, remember, it's the Q&A, guys. Get your questions in. We got about 20-ish minutes left here. Because I haven't ate lunch yet. I was going to go until 1:30, but I need to eat some lunch. And I want to start working on the next Prime News episode, because I do need to get the next Prime News episode done before my kids get off the bus at about 3 p.m. So I want to cut this off at 1, eat some lunch. I still don't even have all the news gathered for Prime News, by the way. So if you guys know of some great news going on right now, let me know, because I'll have to do all that research once I end the stream here. As I've had my son all morning and stuff, so he's on a nap right now, so it's a great time for me to, you know, get our Q&A done here and then try to get a Prime News video out, or at least to the point it's rendering before my other kids come home. I basically just need it recorded. I can edit videos with all my kids here. That's not a problem. It's the recording of the video I can't do with all my kids here. So I definitely, bare minimum, have to get Prime News recorded before 3 p.m. And I think I can pull that off. Normally I get it recorded around right now, but on Wednesdays we do Q&As right now. Let me see here. All right, I used to enjoy Dreamcast Guy's videos. At least you're an opportunity person. Like, you don't like OJ, now you don't like Dreamcast Guy. His success has gone to his head in recent times, though, and his content has been rather lazy and uninspired of late. I think Dreamcast Guy has kind of relied a lot on rants lately, and I like his rants. Even if there's some misinformation in them, I still like them, because it's coming from a place of passion, and I like seeing passion in people. So that's just kind of my take on things. Dreamcast Guy has evolved a lot over his YouTube career, and he's going to continue to evolve. And I really love his reviews. His reviews are so good. And I said, I enjoy his rants even when there's misinformation, because I've been there. I'm more forgiving of the misinformation, I guess, because as I said, Dreamcast Guy just feels like that guy I'm having over talking to on the couch. You know, it's having Eric. It's like having an Eric over, and having an Eric who actually is so passionate about gaming he wants to talk about it. Eric loves video games. But if you can't tell on the Nintendo Prime podcast, he's not really always up to date and knowing everything that's going on, because he's not that passionate about video games. He's that passionate about sports. If Eric and I had a sports podcast, he would dominate the mic in the way I dominate the mic in the Nintendo Prime podcast. But I always joked with him, we should have a sports channel on YouTube, because he wouldn't be able to shut up. I guarantee I could get him to do some news videos on sports. Let's see here. I scroll down. Trying to ignore some of this stuff that's being said here. Super Andrew 64 said excited about the topic. How about them Brewers? Yeah, how about them Brewers? That might be about taking over the division today. Super Andrew 64 says excited about Sony finally allowing crossplay. Yeah, I mean it's about time. I'm glad they overturned the policy before PlayStation 5 came out. While not all games have crossplay yet, I'm hoping that's going to be the case by the time PlayStation 5 lands. And then this is a non-issue, and we live in a future where crossplay is just normal. Then now we can kind of focus on the individual companies that currently aren't supporting crossplay. EA and Activision are two of the big ones that have these massive multiplayer games but don't allow crossplay. So now that we've got all the platforms with crossplay, right? Now it's not a platform thing. Now we can focus on the companies making the games supporting crossplay. I think that's the next step. Now we have platform unity. Now we need company unity with their games across multiple platforms. So hopefully the pressure starts turning to EA and starts turning to Activision. Those are the ones that come to my mind right now, to get them to allow crossplay on their multiplayer games. Because right now they don't. So what games am I currently playing? Well, I played some Fortnite today, although that was for the video. I have Arena of Valor ready to go. I haven't booted it up yet because I know once I do, I'm going to be playing it for a few hours. So I'm kind of waiting for a window where I know I can just blow a few hours. Probably tonight. I don't technically have a live stream planned tonight, so I might blow some time playing Arena of Valor tonight. Otherwise, just the NBA 2K19s. I played some Madden 19 yesterday. And I know sports games. You guys want to hear about some other stuff, but that's really been my go-to right now. I was going to play a little World of Warcraft today, but I think I'm going to hold off. I just got a lot of stuff going on in my life right now. But I'm still playing games. I'm just not playing. Like, I'd like to say I actually wanted to play Breath of the Wild yesterday, but I don't own Breath of the Wild right now. And every time I think about playing it, it makes my heart sink a little bit that I sold it. Don't worry, I will get it back eventually. But let's see here. Mark says, "Hey, have you tried the Dark Souls test?" I unfortunately I never had free time at the times that the test was going on. This is why I wish that they would just have this stuff be there for like an entire day instead of like specific hours during the day. I know they're trying to get like peak users, but I don't know. I mean, Nintendo did the same thing, and it's just the more and more it happens, the more and more I'm like, yeah, but like why can't you or have an online test and then an offline demo? Like, at least have a demo of some type that everyone can play, right? That everyone can play regardless of when they have time to play it. It's my kind of thing. But it's whatever. Let me double check on Twitch. Okay, no questions on Twitch. We do have a handful of people watching on Twitch, though. Let's see here. Mythical Melton says, what's your opinion on Pokemon Let's Go and the Switch bundle that also comes out the same day? I mean, the Switch bundle is what it is. Like anything, it's always cool to have bundles. People who really like Pokemon and don't own a Switch, it makes sense to buy the bundle. For the actual games, I mean, I thought I've made this kind of clear, but I'm really excited for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and excited in a way that I haven't been excited about Pokemon games in a long time. You know, there's always a damper on that excitement with everyone telling me how wrong I am to be excited and how I should boycott the games and how the games are garbage and blah, 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 but it doesn't really affect the fact that I literally played Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. I've actually gone hands-on with the game at E3. I loved it. And I'm sure I'm going to love it when it comes out. Nothing has come out that makes me feel like, oh, there's hand-holding. I'm like, so what? When I played the game, man, it was so much fun. There's hand-holding in lots of games. It doesn't make them less fun for me. So, And I know some people will be like, that makes you a filthy casual. Like, sure. A guy who plays thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of gaming per year is just a filthy casual, I guess. To me, a casual gamer would be someone who doesn't really play games very often. Like my fiance. She's played Fortnite. She's played Mario. Casually. She doesn't play it very often. She doesn't feel like she needs to make time to play it. What did I just say? I'm trying to make time to play Arena of Valor, for crying out loud. Like, come on. But whatever. That's just the semantics of definitions. But that's how I've always viewed casual. So when people are like, oh, you're a casual, it's like, okay. Sure. I guess whatever helps you sleep at night. Mark wants to, can you give us your opinion on the best to worst Switch bundles? Pokemon Smash, Tennis Aces, and Fortnite. There's more Switch bundles than that. There's a Splatoon 2 bundle last year. There's also a 1-2 Switch and Mario Tennis bundle currently at Walmart. There was the Monster Hunter Generations bundle out in Japan. The thing is, like, best to worst, there's aesthetics, and then there's value, and then there's games you care about, right? So it's impossible to really make a best to worst. I mean, you want to talk about the best? Fortnite. It doesn't cost any more than $300, and you get Fortnite. Basically, the Fortnite bundle is interesting because Fortnite's free to play. So all you're paying for in the Fortnite bundle is to have Fortnite on the box. So it's like, it's the most pointless bundle because it's not really a bundle. But it's kind of cool for collectors who really like Fortnite. So, you know, I things like, I mean, I personally like when they modify things. So the Pokemon Smash and Monster Hunter bundles, to me, are probably the best ones. I know there was custom Joy-Cons, but you can always buy the Joy-Cons later. They always sell them later. So, yeah, I don't know. I would probably put a tie between Pokemon Smash and Monster Hunter, and then it's just going to matter which game you're more excited for. And then after those three that have the custom systems, I think the Mario Tennis Aces and 1-2 Switch bundle at Walmart right now actually offers you the best value for the money. It's $360, but you're getting $120 worth of games. So you're actually getting a whole game for free. I think that's a very good value. Even, you know, that's always going to be, do you want to play 1-2 Switch and do you want to play Mario Tennis Aces? Of course, but for value-wise, I think it's a good value. And then there's just a straight-up Mario Tennis Aces bundle. I think, sure. But again, like, you got to remember about the bundles is unless they do something custom, you're just buying the system in the game. Okay? So, like, that's the weird thing. When you're buying a bundle from Nintendo, unless the system is customized in some form, you're just buying the system in the game. You're not getting them at a discount. Nintendo does not discount it. So when you get like a Mario Tennis Aces bundle, you're still paying $360. Guess how much it costs to buy them separately? $300 for the system and $60 for Mario Tennis Aces. So you're paying for box art. And for some people, just like with the Fortnite bundle, like, yeah, some people are cool with that, paying for box art. Doesn't really matter with the Fortnite bundle because, I mean, if you don't own a Switch and you know you're going to play Fortnite, might as well because it doesn't cost any extra. But I don't know. That's just at least from what I understand and what I know about the bundles. So for me to rank them, it's basically anything that has customizations at the top. Everything else is just the same price as buying them on their own. So who cares? Oh, my phone's blowing up. Is this more Twitter stuff? Oh, no. I got a free gift in Tap Sports Baseball. It's funny how they're giving me a notification for that. They give me a free gift every day. They don't need to notify me. Let's see here. Dreamcast guy was not on the last Spawncast, though. So, I don't think that's a sign of anything. Far as I'm aware. I know there was beat 'em ups recently had RGT85 appear on one of his videos. I don't know. I don't think that really means anything. People miss Spawncast episodes all the time. I don't think that really means much. I mean, did Dreamcast guy have a fallout with everyone? Psh, beats me. But he made it sound like he's still going to be on Spawncast, so it was probably just a personal thing, or maybe he was moving or something. You know, there's a lot of things that can happen where you just can't be on a podcast. So, unless you're the host always has to be there, but everyone else, you know, you show up when you can. It's not like Dreamcast guys is paid to be there. So, difference between him and Shane from Re-Rez is Shane battles with reason. I don't want to get too much into Re-Rez. Not a fan of Re-Rez. Don't think Shane's a bad guy. But if you watch some of his Switch videos over the past 2 years, they're missing a lot of facts. This isn't me trying to back OJ. It's just me saying there's a lot of misrepresentation and misreporting on his part. And that happens. Again, I just got done saying it's happened with me. It happens with Dreamcast guy. It happens with everyone. So it's one of those things where I think Re-Rez's editing's great. I think he's an excellent host. I think he has a great voice. And I think he comes up with really good and interesting topics. And for the most part, I enjoy, probably 70% of the content he makes. But every time he talks about Switch, there seems to always be some factual inaccuracy in something he's saying. And I can't figure out why that is. I don't know if it's just because he has a bias against the Switch, but that doesn't invalidate all his other videos, of course. It just means I have a hard time listening to him when it comes to talking about Switch. You own all the systems? Nice, Brett. So Jared Rook says, this just came to me. Da, 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 da. Not sure if it's something that's possible, but can you put a background overlay instead of having a blue wall in your news? It can be somewhat distracting. Nope. Here's the thing. You obviously haven't been watching Prime News for very long. I used to use a green screen and then have a moving video in the background. One, it sucked to edit because I couldn't ever get a good quality moving video that worked in 4K that didn't have issues with lag or something. So there was that. And two, lighting. Lighting. I'm not kidding. All the videos I used to do with the green screen for Prime News had so many issues with lighting that I would go in and out of focus massively, like really, really badly during green screen recordings. Now, I don't have that issue anymore. A large part of that is that I use a practical background. Now it's just a wall with a light I shine on it. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean there can't ever be motion again, because you know what they sell? They sell lights that you can beam at the wall that have movement and do things, and that is something I can add as a practical effect. I don't know if this hasn't been too clear, but the big thing in the change to moving to a studio versus just a small little office room was that I wanted to use practical backgrounds, which means real life backgrounds, not post-edited in backgrounds. Think about like Linus Tech Tips. They green screen some things, yes, but a vast majority of their videos take place in practical background settings. And that's what I like. I like practical sets, and that's what I'm using. Prime News is going to be using a practical, for now, solid color background that has a little gradient effect to it. That is going to be what we're going to be using for a while. Eventually, when I have more money and I can buy various types of lighting in various situations and get movement lights and get wave lights and all this crazy stuff, yeah, sure, there'll be some variance time to time, but ultimately, I like that Prime News is just that static color, because you know what the focus becomes on then? The actual news and me. And that's really what the focus should be on anyways. The background is just the background. It's there, so it's just not plain white. And because I'm white, background plain white, it just makes me, I'm afraid I'll blend into the background. There's more, especially during the winter when I'm inside a lot more, and like you lose a lot of color, and I just look white as a ghost. Let's see here. Do you think the Divinity Sin 2? Do I think Divinity Sin 2 is coming to Switch? I haven't heard anything. Maybe. Let me check here. Yeah. So yeah, they said the studio behind it said they have plans for it on Switch. So I would assume, I guess, that it's going to come to Switch eventually, because the developer behind it kind of said, yeah, we have plans for it. But we'll have to see if those plans ever come to fruition. Having plans and actually executing those plans are two different things, so we'll have to wait and see. Well done on the Dackett case review. Loved it. Thanks, man. Even if you don't like the case, I really liked my video on that and my review of that case. That video and my last Prime News episode are two videos I'm very proud of. And those are the kind of videos I want to make more of. I want to do those kind of high-quality products with some fun edits and, some... even though, I mean, calling the Prime News edits fun is a bit of a misnomer. There wasn't any jokes or anything in there, but it was... Because I'm not the kind of guy that could do, like, a joke segment. You know, like some people deliver news and they kind of have all these jokes and stuff, and it's really cringeworthy. And some people just love it for the cringe. I'm not that kind of person, so that's not going to happen. But when I'm doing product reviews, I do think it's a little fun. Like, I started chucking the case. At one point, during editing, I'm like, man, I really wish I would have just whipped that case behind me. Or, like, went out and got my sledgehammer and, like, took a sledgehammer to the side just to see what happens. But I obviously didn't go that far. I thought about it. I actually thought about taking the case outside and taking the old sledgehammer to it, but it's okay. I'm not sure how much I want to. I don't know. I don't think Dackett's advertising the case as sledgehammer proof. So. Offline test? Are you joking? That's like asking for an Overwatch offline demo. So, correct me if I'm wrong. I know online has been in whatchamacallit. Online has been part of Dark Souls forever, since the beginning. However, I have seen people that have played Dark Souls 100% offline and beat the game. So my question to you is, offline test, are you joking? I think a large chunk of the audience plays by themselves in the game anyways. They don't really care about the online multiplayer stuff. So when you're talking about, that's like asking for an Overwatch offline demo. Overwatch is quite literally a multiplayer, like an online multiplayer game. I don't consider Dark Souls to be an online multiplayer game. Dark Souls is a standalone RPG that happens to have some multiplayer aspects to it. It's completely playable entirely without going online. So yeah, like Overwatch isn't, because you can't even have a teammate of people. Well, you could LAN party, I guess, but you can't have a team of AI people with you going against other AI people. You have to have a team of real people going against AI people. So literally in no possible way is Overwatch playable offline. But Dark Souls is. Dark Souls can be beaten offline. Nintendo and Microsoft, did they really reject Yakuza? I need some sources on that. I don't see how Microsoft, why would Microsoft and Nintendo reject Yakuza? It literally makes no sense for them to reject it. So Brett Cummings, that's a really nice thing to say, but I honestly, do you have a source for that? I haven't heard anything about Microsoft and Nintendo rejecting Yakuza. Finally, someone with positive feedback on Let's Go. I've been excited for it from day one. So, you want positivity around Pokemon Let's Go? I'm your guy. Let me see. Who are my top 3 favorite Nintendo YouTubers? Man, putting me on the spot. My top 3 favorite. I mean, I don't think you can have a top 3 without GameXplain. GameXplain is a very different kind of YouTube channel compared to a lot of other Nintendo YouTubers. They get access to all the games, so you're getting all the like the Wolf cutscene from Starlink. You know, you got that on their channel. They're the ones that got that out to the world. They get a lot of exclusive gameplay clips. I don't know that I necessarily agree with their opinions all the time, but I don't have to enjoy their content. That's the thing. That's what's so unique about the channel, is you could just not give a crap about what those people have to say or think and just enjoy all the gameplay clips they give you. You can enjoy Oh, I will say one series I really enjoy is when they bring out the analysis machine and examine trailers and stuff like that. I really love when they do that. I think that's their best content. So stuff like that. I have a deep respect for Game Explain. Really enjoy their content. I've talked to the people from Game Explain before. It's been a while. It's been some years since I talked to them, but they're really good people, and I'll probably cross paths with them again someday. Beyond that, it's tough to pick out other ones because I follow and I watch so many Nintendo YouTubers, or YouTubers that aren't necessarily Nintendo, but they lean towards Nintendo. As an example, Beat 'em Ups isn't a Nintendo YouTuber, but he might as well be because a majority of his content is Nintendo based today, anyways. So like, would he be in my top 3? I don't know. I seem to enjoy his. I enjoy his personality. I think more than anything, more than what he says. For some reason, it's just his personality. Something about it clicks with me. And after that, it's really kind of a toss up. Like, I really like Spawnwave a lot and the stuff he does. I like Dreamcast RGT85. Yes, some people might cringe at this, but I do enjoy the BitBlocks content, especially Make Believe. Make Believe to me is one of the greatest Nintendo fan series to ever exist in the history of the internet. It is that good. Did You Know Gaming? I used to like Alex for his Nintendo vlogs. He doesn't do as many of them now. CND. Etika. God, you know what? I can't have a top 3 without Etika. Definitely Game Explainer and Etika are in that top 3. Just the Joy-Con boys for life, man. Those for sure are in my top 3. After that, I don't know who would be the third. Philip Stafford. Speaking of making time, you have a weird live stream upload schedule. You've been doing such at like 10 p.m. and now you're doing it at 1:30. No, okay, so here's what it is. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday and Friday, I stream at either 7. Well, usually it's 9 p.m. Central Time, so 10 p.m. Eastern, and those are game streams. So I'm streaming whatever. When I do my Wednesday stream, it's a Q&A, and I do it during the day so I can hit on a different audience than I hit on at night. Because on night streams, we allow swearing, there's drinking, there's all this crazy stuff. Whereas during our day streams, everything's more subdued. We don't allow swearing. Obviously, I'm not drinking. And we kind of just get down to brass tacks and talk about games. And that's what the Wednesday daytime Q&A is about. Now, the Wednesday Q&A used to be at night, but then I had volleyball. And then I realized after volleyball ended that I kind of like having my Wednesday evening free. Because at the time, I was dedicating 3 nights a week to working super late. Now I only have 2 nights a week dedicated to having to work super late. So now instead of working until midnight or later doing live streams, I can like work at night but be done by 9 or 10 and go to bed at a decent time. Let's see here. And if you say, just stream sooner, got to remember, the reason my live streams are so late on Mondays and Fridays at 9 instead of like at 7 or 8 is because I have kids and I can't do anything until they go to sleep. Just like now. My kid is napping, so I can live stream. And my other 2 are at school. Let's see here. I think I'm almost caught up. You know Rerez, he loves Switch. You could fool me. He was touting and banging the Switch is going to fail drum for the entire first year of the Switch being on the market, man. So I'm not saying that he doesn't enjoy Switch and that he doesn't really like Switch, but if you watched his Switch videos from before Switch came out until Super Mario Odyssey came out, Rerez's videos on Switch were highly negative, highly critical, all of them doom and gloom, trying to predict that Switch is going to fail, and he was wrong. And he had a hard time accepting that he was wrong. So, yeah, you might love Switch, but he's got some bias with that platform. You can't watch his videos in earnest and think otherwise. Not when you actually go back and look at his history of covering Switch. Today, he's probably more positive today on Switch. But being positive, also being positive today on Switch is good for business. I mean, some people say being negative is good for business. I think being positive is good for business right now too. Anyways, let's see here. You guys were talking about controllers for a while. The chat won't let you post it, Brett. You'll have to tweet it at me. Your source for the Yakuza stuff, just tweet it at me. Yeah, YouTube won't let you put links in the chat, so unless you're a mod or me. So yeah, just tweet it at me and I'll take a look at it. It's not really super relevant anyways, but man, those notifications are going still nuts on Twitter. That's what happens when OJ tweets at me or includes me in a tweet that has drama. He doesn't do it very often, to be fair, but everything's going to blow up. Man, 107 notifications. That makes sense. I wasn't saying such to suggest you do it earlier. Just wondering why the schedule seemed all over the place. That's all. Yeah, and here's the thing. When I have that schedule, Philip Stafford, it even feels weird because I'll stream on other nights too. But those nights are random. I don't plan for those streams to occur. I don't sit down on my Tuesday and be like, what am I going to stream tonight? Like, no. If a stream happens, what happened is likely that Yulia isn't here. Yulia got called into work and had to work late, and because she's working late and my kids are asleep and I'm bored and I got nothing better to do, sure, I could play games. And to be fair, if I was reviewing games, nights like that are the perfect night to power play games so I can review them. But currently I don't really do a lot of game reviews, so I don't have to worry about that. So then I'll have a bonus stream and just talk with you guys or, play some Fortnite. Usually Fortnite's been a lot of the go-to for, maybe Arena of Valor will be the new go-to on those nights. We'll see if I end up really liking it. Use the 8-bit DOE adapter. It's solid. I haven't tried any 8-bit DOE stuff yet. I've heard a lot of good things. Do you think there's going to be an Animal Crossing Switch bundle? Oh, definitely. There's probably going to be a Fire Emblem Switch bundle too. I think the floodgates have opened, and there's going to be bundles for pretty much every major Nintendo release moving forward. They're going to 3DS the hell out of this now. Anyways. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's Q&A. I know I'm sorry to cut it a half hour short. I'm trying to get into a better schedule for Prime News. I need to eat some lunch. I'm starving. Did I eat breakfast? Oh, yeah. I did have a bowl of cereal for breakfast. For those that are wondering, Cinnamon Life. Cinnamon Life cereal is so good. One of my favorite. So, will I stream Mario Party with your Patreon subscribers? Assuming it is online play, most definitely. For those who don't know, whenever I do multiplayer games, be it Mario Tennis or NBA 2K19, if I'm doing online matches, or Fortnite or Mario Kart. Well, Mario Kart, usually it's an open public tournament, so that's different. But Splatoon 2, ARMS, anything like that. If I'm doing online multiplayer stuff, the only people that can play with me are our patrons and or members on YouTube. So you can either become a patron for $1 a month or become a member on YouTube for $5 a month of my channel, and that will enable you to play multiplayer matches with me. And I know you're paywalling your multiplayer. I get it. I understand. I used to never do it, but I get too many friend requests on Switch now to handle it realistically. It's time to limit that and make it so only a set group of people have access to be able to even friend request me, let alone play games with me. And it just makes it so much easier instead of upsetting a zillion people a night because I didn't get a chance to play with you. I'm like, I'm sorry. I had to get like 80,000 people in. We only have 42 patrons. It's not a lot easier to sift through 42, especially when not all 42 of those people even play games with me. And of the ones that do, they don't all own every single game, right? So like, there's a group that owns that plays Fortnite. There's a group that plays Splatoon. There's a group that plays this. A group that plays that. Blah 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 blah. And there's the nice Nintendo Life. I really like Nintendo Life. Maybe I should have put Nintendo Life in my top 3. Alex and Nintendo Life's YouTube channel. Their website's really good too. But Alex I like Alex. He's a good dude. If you guys have never seen a Nintendo Life YouTube video, you need to go watch him. There's a reason they have a hell of a lot more subs than we do, let me tell you. And Alex is why. He is so good. So good. Mark's planning to join ASAP. Nice. Arena of Valor, will that be Patreon? Yep. Arena of Valor, I'm playing Arena of Valor on Friday. That's going to be Patreon. I mean, what I'm playing tonight, and the thing is, if I'm playing on my own, and I basically don't play with other people when I'm by myself. When I'm just at home, and I'm not live streaming, like if you see me in Fortnite or Arena of Valor, don't bother to invite me. I'm not going to play with you. But when I'm streaming, that's when you get to play with me. So what did they say here? When was this posted? This was posted on August, and the source was I'm just double checking the source. I trust Reset Era. I'm a member of Reset Era. Okay, it was from Edge Magazine. Okay, and the sources are, I never said this before, but while we released this game with Sony, I'd done presentations about it to Microsoft and Nintendo. Back then, they said, no, we don't want it. Now they say we want it. They didn't understand the reason why I created it. When it comes to Switch, I'm convinced that it would not... Okay, so, to be fair, Brett, and I'm not... This is me defending OJ. Here's what I'm reading. And I looked at the OG source. They were talking about the original Yakuza. So, at the time that they made the original Yakuza, they did approach Nintendo and Microsoft, and they said no. Sony said yes. But he admits in his own quotes that now Microsoft and Nintendo are saying we want the game. So Microsoft and Nintendo are not preventing Yakuza from being on Switch today. They prevented it from being on prior platforms in the past. Now today they want it on they want it on Xbox One, they want it on Nintendo Switch. And now the real reason that Yakuza 1, that the Yakuza series isn't on Switch is this. He says, when it comes to Switch, I'm convinced that it would not be the ideal platform. So, the Nintendo is not preventing Yakuza from being on Switch. They don't think Switch is a good fit for Yakuza. So, technically, what you just linked to me kind of defends OJ, if you're being completely honest with yourself, Brett. Nintendo is why Yakuza wasn't originally on a Nintendo platform. It's not why it's not on the Switch today. Yeah, so it's... I mean, I don't know why Nintendo... Well, Nintendo used to try to be super family-friendly way back in the day. They tried really hard to be, and they denied a lot of games. Yet they still allowed some. It was weird. They denied a lot, and then you had Conker's Bad Fur Day. So I'm like... Maybe it was just because it was rare and they could get away with it. I don't know. Anyways, all right, folks, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got to go eat, and then I got to get working on the Prime News video so I can get it recorded. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.